I invited Claire over to Crystal's place to help tidy up. It was clear she'd left in a hurry, clothes were scattered on the bed, and her lingerie drawer was open with a bra hanging out. As we started cleaning, admiring her gowns, Holly and Joan unexpectedly walked in, questioning our presence and beginning to search the place. Joan headed straight for the liquor cabinet, while Holly began playing with your makeup. 5 minutes later, Julia and Tyler showed up, claiming they heard loud music as they passed by. Joan had turned the stereo up too loud, which I forgot to mention. They made themselves at home, ordered takeout, and said to charge it to you. Tyler suggested a party, and Joan, already a bit tipsy, agreed. Tyler made some calls, and soon Paula and Anno joined us. I grabbed some snacks from the kitchen. Sorry, you'll need to restock when you return, I used a few things. Joan handed me a drink that I thought was just Coke, but everything became a blur after that. I suspect she spiked it. I vaguely remember someone suggesting a slumber party, but I was already feeling drowsy. I recall the pizza delivery guy getting quite an unexpected sight. Later, amidst some shouting, I saw clothes flying and a guy running around while the girls chased him. By then, Joan had given me 2 more drinks, and I was blissfully unaware, even when someone decided I needed a playful reprimand. Things got chaotic, and I woke up next to Holly, who was jokingly tied up with a pair of new stockings. She teased me about it, but I don't remember doing it. You have to believe me, wink wink. That's my version of events. Hopefully, the mess on the bedroom walls is sorted out by now. Oops, well, it wasn't me, maybe ask someone else. Joan and I had just come from church when I mentioned that Crystal needed me to feed her fish, so we stopped by her Park Avenue townhome. I grabbed the key from above the doorframe and noticed the door was slightly open. Joan suggested calling the police in case of a break-in, but I hesitated, worried about Crystal's computers. Inside, we found 2 purses on the entryway table. I assumed one belonged to Prue and went further, hearing giggling from the bedroom. Joan pushed the door open, revealing Claire zipping up a royal blue mini-dress that Prue had apparently just tried on. I blurted out that they were caught red-handed and warned them that Crystal would be furious. They squealed and stammered, Claire claiming they were cleaning up after Crystal left in a rush, pointing to the scattered clothes on the floor. I was about to scold them when Claire distracted me, pointing to your makeup table. Look, Holly, makeup, she said, and I was drawn to the array of high-end perfumes, foundations, eyeshadows, and lipsticks. Suddenly, a loud crash from the living room startled me. I peeked out and saw Paula, and Julia, and Tyler, who had all dropped by unexpectedly. Joan handed me a decanter, and after a sniff, I realized it was vodka and orange juice. I took a small sip, but my nerves were already frayed. As I scanned the room, I noticed Crystal's antique Ming vase shattered behind Paula. Nervously, I took another sip from the decanter, feeling a bit woozy. Joan had spiked it. The next thing I knew, someone was trying to feed me pizza, and a guy was attempting to remove my clothes, causing chaos and screams until Anne intervened with her purse. Later, Paula spilled nail polish everywhere while trying to do everyone's nails in her intoxicated state. Threatened with exposure, I was tied up by Julia and Prue using pantyhose and forced to drink more from Joan's decanter, losing consciousness again. I woke up in the morning, surrounded by intertwined arms and legs, bewildered by what had happened. Sure, there was some drinking, but why does everyone point fingers at me when things get out of hand? Holly was really supportive when my ex dumped me on our anniversary. We had plans, but let's not revisit that. I grabbed a few bottles from my dad's liquor cabinet, nothing too strong, just Everclear Light or something. It wasn't enough to cause all the chaos they're blaming on me. Feeling down, I thought hitting the bar might lift my spirits. It did. Tyler and Julia showed up soon after. Tyler seemed annoyed with me, but after a while of tending bar, I stopped caring. Mom, you're so petite, yet somehow everyone ended up raiding your wardrobe. That blouse you left out. I really liked it, but I swear the lipstick was already there. A few friendly frat guys stopped by later. They don't always get the best reputation, but they're actually pretty nice. Right, Tyler and Holly? You didn't realize everyone could see you, did you? Anyway, I recorded everything, so you can't blame it all on me. Holly, once you let loose, you're quite the party animal. There was no panty raid. You were just generously offering your panties to any guy around. I was talking with this friendly frat guy, just chatting, really. He was super attentive, especially after his friend took over the bar. We ended up falling asleep together on the balcony. He must have left early for class because when I woke up, he was already gone. You should thank me for spicing up the night. Without my little light alcohol twist, it would have been as exciting as a knitting circle. Glad I could handle things with such maturity. By the way, has anyone seen my black thong? I can't seem to find it. Crystal, ignore everything else you're hearing. Here's the real story. I was about to head out with Tyler for some shopping when I heard noise coming from your place across the hall. The door was slightly open, and since you were away, I decided to check it out. To my surprise, your place was packed with people. Prue, Claire, Holly, and Joan were there, with the stereo blaring. Prue was on the phone, muttering about tidying up, but both she and Claire were wearing your clothes, and Holly was at your vanity, playing with your plum eyeshadow. Joan, tipsy in your tan-belted mini, was busy making drinks for everyone. The place looked like a department store after a sale, so I jumped in to help clean up. As soon as I walked in, Joan handed me a cola to sip while I helped, though I didn't know she'd added something extra to the drink. We worked hard, but the more we tidied, the more chaotic it seemed to get. Later, and Paula showed up, and the place was suddenly packed with people, many I didn't recognize. The hallway outside looked like rush hour, with everyone holding drinks thanks to Joan. She sure knows how to charm when she's had a few. By the way, don't listen to Holly's story about a panty raid. That never happened. She ditched her panties long before the fraternity guys showed up. Between her and Claire, the pizza guy didn't stand a chance. His boss shouldn't have fired him. And Claire, last time I saw her, she was wearing a FedEx cap, and little else besides her bra and panties, talking about heading to Times Square to round up friends. I know she doesn't have a license, but I seriously doubt she was planning to steal that truck. Things did get a little out of hand, but calling the SWAT team wasn't necessary, though they were surprisingly understanding. They stayed to make sure everything stayed under control, following standard SWAT procedures. They arrived just after Annie finished her second song, looking adorable atop the table in your black bustier. Her dance moves included an impressive high kick. I only realized the police were there when I heard "Oh, Officer Riley" and a playful giggle from another room. Tyler insists she was just being polite, but I saw a tall officer in military uniform escorting her toward the guest room. She seemed to be enjoying herself. After Sergeant Donovan escorted me back to my apartment, my memory gets a bit fuzzy, but he was a perfect gentleman. Oh, and if you find my yellow sheath dress, please let me know. It seems to have disappeared. I can only speak for myself, but here's how I remember it. Someone, maybe Claire, mentioned that Mom, Crystal, was leaving town on a Friday. Then someone suggested gathering at her townhouse for a slumber party. We're too old for that, but hey, as Paula says, a girl just wants to have fun. I spent the day working for my client in Santa Monica, handling his vendor invoices that were due. I needed to FedEx them so he could cut checks the next day. As it neared our meetup time at Mom's, I called FedEx to arrange a pickup at her townhouse. On the way there, I bumped into Julia, and we chatted. We arrived around 5:45 p.m. and found the door unlocked with all the lights on. Prue, Claire, Holly, and Joan were already there, surprisingly including Joan. I'd spoken to her the day before, and she said she had plans with a guy, so seeing her there threw me off. How could she lie like that? I'll deal with her later. About half an hour later, Paula and O joined us, and what looked like a party started forming. I behaved, sipping ginger ale in the living room, waiting for FedEx to pick up my package. They were late despite my clear instructions. Someone suggested pizza, so I placed the order. The pizza arrived around 8:15 or 8:30. I heard the doorbell, glanced back, and saw it was the pizza. I didn't pay much attention to the delivery guy, but now I understand what they mean by Domino delivers. I'll explain that part soon. The FedEx guy finally arrived just before 9 o'clock. I asked him about the package's flight to California for Kevin to get it the next morning. He assured me it would make the flight to LAX. We chatted a bit, which was nice, but I was pressed for time. I urged him to deliver the package and leave so we could talk more. Despite not being the sharpest, he was cute. He promised to return soon. After the FedEx guy left, I headed upstairs to use the powder room. Once I finished, I couldn't resist checking out Mom's bedroom to see her new outfits since my last visit. Oddly, the door was closed, and in my haste, I entered without knocking. Inside, I found Claire and the pizza delivery guy on the floor, clothes scattered everywhere. The bed was a mess, and it was obvious where things had started. I even saw something on Claire that looked like pizza sauce. Ooh! Right then and there, I swore off pizza. I quickly backed out of the room. After the initial shock wore off, I went back to the living room, waiting for the cute FedEx guy's return. He showed up around 10:15, still in his work uniform. He hadn't even bothered to drop his truck at the warehouse or change first, parking it right outside Mom's house, double parked for everyone to see. If he hadn't been so cute, I might have kicked him out. We went upstairs, bypassing Mom's bedroom and heading straight to the guest room. We had some fun, but it wasn't the wild scene Prue described. And let me tell you, FedEx is fast in more ways than one. Kurt, the FedEx guy, set a record. I've never seen anyone move that quickly, not even in middle school. I quietly changed the sheets and remade the bed. Around midnight, Holly filled me in on the panty raid while I was preoccupied. We checked the house for other signs of mischief. Someone had raided the liquor cabinet. My bet is on Joan, the resident lush. The place was a bit messy but nothing too out of hand. Too tired to clean more, I crashed in the guest room. Someone joined me, but honestly, nothing happened that night. The next morning, we tackled the cleanup. I heard about makeup stains on Mom's clothes, definitely not my fault. I suspect Claire. If Mom asks, I'll blame Joan for lying to me. There were also mentions of stretched stockings with runs, which I know nothing about. Oh, and yeah, I forgot about the used condom under the guest room dresser. It's too late to take care of it now that Mom's back. That's my version of the events while Mom was away. I cleaned up my mess and helped out around the house. Whatever else happened, I have no idea. If anything's out of place, blame Joan. Well, gosh, I didn't do anything wrong. I was out shopping and found this adorable peach silk blouse with a V-neck and wrist-length sleeves. I needed something to match, so I grabbed a turquoise ankle-length skirt and a bolero jacket. That's when I bumped into Paula. She said she was headed to Mom's place to feed her fish, didn't know she had piranhas, so I tagged along. When we got there, it was like walking into a nudist colony. Julia, Claire, and Prue were having a party. Someone handed me a drink. Coke? Joan, you naughty girl, was that you? And I had a few more. Oh, that vase. Definitely Shan, not Ming. I remember seeing someone trying to undress Holly, and with Paula's help, I went after them. Frat boys can be so rough. Their idea of foreplay is saying, you know you want me, baby. By then, I couldn't feel a thing. I did try some of your makeup collection. Borrowed a bit, because, well, a girl's gotta look good when she sings, right? I started with DIVORCE and think I began Girls Just Wanna Have Fun before the FedEx guy interrupted me about a missing truck. What would I know? I was singing the whole time. Booze makes me do that. The SWAT, Southwest Arizona Transvestites, team never showed up, Mom, and I was a good girl. Found some nice black panties, though I prefer briefs. Oh, and what happened to my pantyhose? Someone took them off, I think to subdue a raving teetotaler. Julia, was that you or the cute muscle guy with you? He was on you a lot, by the way. Woke up to a mess. Nice perfume, Holly, Shalimar, Chanel, or Charlie. No, she wasn't the mess. While the rest were out cold or staggering, I cleaned up as much as I could, got rid of a dozen of those little round things. Made breakfast, scrambled eggs, bacon, sausage, found links in the fridge. I prefer patties, home fries, English muffins, and coffee. Piranha's got sausage. You need to shop, your pantry's empty. That's my story, I'm innocent. They caused all the trouble. Smoke stains can be removed. The firefighters said it wasn't too bad. The police were very nice, if you catch my drift. Wink, wink. Court appearance. I know a good Philadelphia lawyer, pricey but worth it. FedEx dropped those kidnapping charges for now. Cleaning bills are due later this month. Got most pizza stains out. Your new bed arrives next week. The old one wore out from use, not just sleeping. Oh, those turquoise pumps. They look great with my skirt. You'll let me keep them, right? I was a good girl, Mom. Don't forget to join me on Patreon for exclusive content.